Welcome to Seasons of Life, a biblical perspective for how to navigate life's ups and downs. Do you feel overwhelmed? Or do you feel successful? Experiencing loss? This weekly 15-minute word of inspiration will motivate you to live with more wisdom and peace. Here is your host, Pastor Mercy Oduah.
Hello, my Seasons of Life community. I welcome you to another episode of Seasons of Life. As you know, Seasons of Life is a practical biblical way for handling your life challenges. Life challenges are regular occurrences of life, the good and the not so good. My inspirational video aspires to educate and empower you with biblical support and guidance as you navigate through the ups and downs of life. I am sharing my Seasons of Life experiences, hoping they benefit you. If you are watching me for the first time, welcome, and kindly like and subscribe and share this video so that we can become a community of support. Thank you for sharing. So last week, I examined a powerful mindset to have, the possibility mindset. I encourage everyone to shift your mindset from an impossible to possibility mindset as we enter this year. Because God is our Father, don't you think that we as His children should have a possibility mindset? Because the Bible teaches us that with God, all things are possible. So why do we, His children, have a different mindset? I also mentioned that developing a possibility mindset opens the door for a miracle. And what is a miracle? A miracle is when impossible things happen that cannot be explained by natural or scientific law. So you may ask, how do I develop that possibility mindset? How do I stop my mind from thinking impossible with every situation in my life? As you are looking at that situation, how do I develop the possibility mindset? That is what this episode is all about today. So episode 47, we examine the ways to develop a possibility mindset. I want you to know that God has given us everything to make it in life, including a sound mind. And from that sound mind, we can think possibilities. We can see possibilities in every situation. I want you to know that every impossible situation in your life is an opportunity for God to make it possible. Life is packaged with impossible and possible situations. They are necessary for human experiences. So you have to change your mindset to include impossibility, to think that everything is possible with God. I have 4 biblical ways to develop the possibility mindset. I want you to know that possibility starts with God, because the things that are impossible with men are possible with God, according to Matthew chapter 18, verse 27. I don't know about you, but I am ready for a miracle. I am very hopeful because the things that are impossible with me, they are possible with God. So that's a glimpse of hope for you to hold on. So to develop a possibility mindset, the first thing to do is to take your eyes off your situation. Don't look at the problem. Don't dwell at the problem. Some call it not walking by sight, but faith. But I want you to know that you don't need a supersized faith for a miracle to happen. If you look at the Bible, all the miracles in the Bible, many of them did not require faith on the part of the receiver. No, all you need is to believe that God can do it. Why? Because He is God and you are not. So, because you are not God, don't analyze your problem from your ability. Don't look at your problem from your own mindset. You must take your eyes off your situation and adjust your mindset. I want you to know that your tough seasons right now are not bigger than God. So, I want us to examine a very powerful case study in the Bible, the story of Abraham and Sarah. It is very popular. I bet you know it. But did you see the lesson? And are you applying the lesson? Because some of these stories in the Bible, it is for us to learn and then apply. And that will make us to get the same result because God doesn't change. So when God was dealing with the childlessness of Abraham and Sarah, when God was dealing with their childlessness, the most important thing mentioned in that story was that Abraham believed when God told him that his children will be as many as the stars in heaven. In Genesis chapter 15, verses 5 to 6. At that point, Abraham did not have even one child, and God was telling him that his descendants will be as many as the stars in heaven. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine God telling Abraham that? But what was God trying to do? God was trying to bring Abraham from the realm of impossibility to the realm of possibility because God was the one making that promise to him. So Abraham believed at that point. But guess what? 10 years later down the line, something happened. Sarai, Abraham's wife, convinced Abraham to marry their maid Hagar, so that they could have a son through her because Sarai believed that God has closed her womb. God did not say that, but Sarai believed. And now he convinced Abraham to marry Hagar, their maid, so that they could have a son. What happened? Abraham believed, Abraham obeyed, and they had a son named Ishmael. Wait a minute. What happened here? Why did Abraham stop believing? Because he was believing before. God came to him first, not to Sarah. So why did Abraham allow Sarah to influence him? Abraham and Sarah, they were looking at their situation. They were looking at their age, their situation. They were not looking at God. And that was why I said that the first thing you need to do while trying to develop a positive mindset, a possibility mindset, is not to look at your situation. So Abraham, even though God promised him, he obeyed the wife and they went another way. So when you are trying to develop a possibility mindset, beware of distractors. Beware of distractors from family, from friends, from social media, even from news outlets. And those distractors will tell you how impossible your situation is. They will make you look like a fool when you say that you are believing the possibility to happen. If you believe God for a child, the science world will tell you that you are too old to have a child. If you are believing God for a partner, the society or the culture will point at your age. Wow. If you are terminally sick and believing God to heal you, the medical world will tell you, the medical world will tell you that Your disease is incurable. So you see how we have programmed our mind with impossibility. So how do we expect God to act? So what happened that is that your mindset will start to shift because now you are listening to people, and that is narrowing your mind now from possibility to impossibility. Therefore, you must be intentional and consistent to cultivate a possibility mindset. You must be intentional. Even though you are hearing all these voices, be intentional, purpose in your heart to develop a possibility mindset, and then be consistent. Don't be in and out. So when you know that you are cultivating a possibility mindset, beware of what you hear, because what you hear or what you see can affect your mindset. So what happened back to Abraham and Sarah? Did Abraham and Sarah's action stop the miracle that God promised them? No, certainly not. Why? Because God is too faithful to fail. God is not a man that he should lie. And the words that has gone out of God's mouth will not return to God unfulfilled. So what God did was to allow them to feed their doubt, which produced Ishmael. God just allowed them to do their thing. And then later, God returned to Abraham at the age of 99 years old to remind him of his promise of giving him a son. This is found in Genesis chapter 17, verses 15 to 19. It is interesting. God returned after they have had their Ishmael. God came back to them in Genesis chapter 17, verses 15 to 19. Can you imagine? Their mistake did not stop God. Instead, God returned to them and reaffirmed and confirmed that he will make the impossible possible. Even at that point, God changed the name of Sarai to Sarah, meaning mother of nations. Wow, this is just too much. This couple had a child already from the maid. They don't need anything anymore. They saw themselves as old. And now God came back, even with that child, to tell them that, no, I am still going to give you a son. No wonder in verse 17, Genesis 17, verse 17, Abraham fell on his face and laughed and said in his heart, shall a child be born to a man who is 100 years? And shall Sarah, who is 90 years, bear a child? Wow! Abraham was looking at his situation, as I said. He was talking out of his situation. So these were the impossible thoughts in his heart. And out of that, he responded to God. And what did Abraham say to God? He said, oh no, let Ishmael be the son. Let Ishmael be my inheritance. That was what Abraham was saying now. Because his mind now is full of impossibility. Because he looked at his situation. So what did God say? God said, no, Sarah, your wife, will conceive in her womb, and she will bear you a son, and you shall call his name Isaac, because I will establish an everlasting covenant with Isaac. I will bless Ishmael, but my covenant is with Isaac, and Isaac is the one that Sarah will give you. God did not want to change his mind. You see, Abraham was trying to compromise now because of what he heard, because of the words that Sarah spoke in his ears. So Abraham is trying to compromise. Abraham, was not believing God anymore. But God was not going to be messed with that. God said, look, I know that you are talking from an impossible mindset. I am God. With me, all things are possible. So I will return and I will give you a son through Sarah. Oh my God. God is so deep. God is so merciful. And God is so powerful. So what happened? In Genesis chapter 21, verses 1 to 2, the Bible said that God visited Sarah at the promised time, and she conceived, and she gave Abraham a bouncing baby boy, and they named him Isaac, the miracle child. So the things that are impossible with men are possible with God. So in your situation, I want you to know that those impossible situations, they are possible with God. All you need to do is to believe and develop the possibility mindset. So as I close, you have seen one way to develop a possibility mindset is not to look at your situation. Don't look at your situation. My program is to empower you with biblical support and guidance. And that is what I've just done. So don't look at your situation. As I close, I want you to meditate in the book of Luke, chapter 18, verse 27. And it's telling you that the things that are impossible right now with you, they are possible with God. All you need to do is to shift your mindset and you will have a miracle. So next week, we will look at another way to develop a possibility mindset. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord cause his face to shine upon you. And may the Lord help you as you cultivate a possibility mindset. Shalom and see you next week.
Thank you for watching this episode of Seasons of Life. Until next time, be well, and may God bless you.